What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the next edition of Turn Talk. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about AEW, NXT, and legacy versus legacy. Do women really have to sacrifice, or can they have it all? And all that and more coming to you right after this. Welcome. It's your boy, Stephen Romon, and I'm with my co-host, Mr. Wanye, Picante, Al Dente, Elefante.
I don't think it takes all that.
I know. I'm just being extra. All right, big boy.
Yeah.
So, top of the show, talking about AEW.
Yes. So today,
you brought this up. What do you want to talk about with
all
AEW?
right. As an avid fan of AEW, and as a avid listener and fan of all of the stuff that you do, I did want to bring up AEW and kind of get some information on you. So what I want to know is, how do you feel about AEW?
I like AEW. Overall, I like it. I think I was part of the general crowd that was caught up in the euphoria when it first came out, because for so long we only had WWE.
Right.
And that's a bad thing. It was a bad thing because we really didn't have any other viable options. TNA was far beyond its glory days. Far beyond it. So having a brand like AEW come out and the timing came out with the star power it came out with, man, it was great. And then I kind of, slowly started falling off. But then that's also because during the pandemic, it was easy to watch AEW.
Right.
We didn't have anything to do. Once life restarted, it was kind of hard to catch up with the episodes. Wednesday night we got engagements or whatever. Not to mention that their pay-per-views are like $50 when I'm only used to paying that $9.99 a month.
It gets expensive. It definitely gets expensive.
Yeah. So I kind of fell off watching it. I'm trying to get back to it, especially now with Collision. I like Collision.
Really?
Yes, I love Collision. Like the first episode that I watched. My problem is I forget that live wrestling comes on Saturdays. So I got to remember to set my DVR. I think I got it set, but yeah, I love Collision. Like the aesthetic is beautiful. Like everything about it, it's beautiful.
Okay. So I guess what I'd like to know is, so who is your favorite wrestlers up there? Let's start with the males.
Okay.
Male single.
Male single. Hangman Page. Yeah, Hangman. He's decent. I'm gonna tell you somebody that kind of grew on me that I really didn't like.
Okay.
It was Kenny Omega.
Yeah, because you was a Kenny hater. You was a Kenny hater before.
Yo.
No. I'm not gonna let him do it. Okay. I'm not gonna let him. All right. Act like when I said, "Hey, Kenny's good." He was like, I ain't really seen no matches. I said, "Hey, trust me, Kenny's good. He's got some potential." I really like the storyline that they do with him, especially with the Elite. Since the beginning of AEW, I really like that. I would say my favorite AEW wrestler, Jon Moxley. He's everything that I want in my champion.
This is gonna sound so faint and shallow. I don't like his theme music.
I really feel like that's the WWE in you talking. Because
No, that's just the music person in me talking. Like his theme music kind of reminds me of the same thing as when I hear Ronda Rousey's name. I just feel like the songs don't match the character.
Okay, all right.
Other than that, I like Jon Moxley.
Okay, so moving forward, who's your favorite female wrestler?
Jade Cargill.
So you didn't even think about that answer.
Sir. I mean, it's probably a very biased opinion from a male standpoint, and I really don't care. But yeah, I like Jade.
I mean, yes.
Britt Baker is good.
Okay.
You know who I really like though, that I feel like is kind of underrated. At least last time I was watching, I felt like they were underrated. Was I cannot the Japanese wrestlers. Their names, it kills me trying to pronounce them. Hira Shida. Her. Did I say it right?
No, but I'm gonna let you slide.
Yeah, her.
Okay,
she's really good.
Okay. My favorite AEW women's wrestler. I don't want to say Jade, but I feel like Jade dominated so long that you really got wrapped up into it.
Yeah.
She made you like her because she gave you so many elements. Now, granted, in the beginning, she was very green. But what she did do and how they booked her, they made her dominant, they made her relevant, and they made her honestly heel face. They made her
a person that you love to hate.
Yes.
That's what you mean?
Yes, they did.
I can see that.
They did. As far as overall wrestler, and she's a bit green too, Willow Nightingale.
Oh, I forgot about Willow.
Willow, that's my girl.
Yo, yeah, I like Willow.
I love
nice.
Willow.
She's
I love her
nice.
in-ring ability. I love her character. I love how she's matriculated from a lot of the independent stuff. Just because I keep up with a lot of the
They kind of got her
stuff too.
more so on the Ring of Honor side of the house now, right?
Yes.
See, that's why I end up one is like I'm trying to get back into it, and then two, like a portion of their roster. I'm not going to say they're relegated to Ring of Honor, but it's primarily Ring of Honor heavy. Or I feel like they primarily work Ring of Honor. I forgot about Samoa Joe.
Oh yeah,
That's my dude.
Yeah, Joe's like that. All right, so who's your favorite tag team in AEW?
It's only one, sir.
Go ahead.
0. I ain't gonna do it to you.
Don't do it to
I
me.
ain't gonna be disrespectful. I ain't gonna do it to you. But
right.
Come on, sir. Lucha Bros. Who giving you harder matches than the Lucha Bros?
Yeah. Okay. I'm torn right now. All right.
Torn between who?
I'm torn. All right. Hear me out. Don't shoot me for this. All right. But I love the Elite. All right. Super Kick Party.
Talking about Bucks Omega, right?
The Young Bucks, baby.
Okay, because I was about because it was a couple of different iterations. You had Bucks Omega, Paige, and then Bucks, and then Bucks and Adam Cole. And
Young Bucks.
Okay.
Young Bucks from the genesis of AEW. I loved it. Now the other tag team that's growing on me, the Guns.
Are you serious?
Yes. I like.
It's only because of the entrance. Only because of the entrance.
It's the entrance, but also I like the character development. So they have the same attitude that they had when they were just the Guns, but now that they're with Bullet Club Gold, I love that.
How many different iterations of Bullet Club has there been?
So if you want to go there, how many iterations of NWO have we seen? Don't do that.
No. I'm not saying it from a critical standpoint. I'm literally just asking because I know the Bullet Club started in New Japan.
Yes.
Right? I really don't follow New Japan. So, therefore, like, I really don't know who was all part of the original faction. Like, I know that Finn Balor and AJ got Bullet Club ties.
Yes. The Good Brothers.
The Good Brothers, they got Bullet Club ties.
Kenny Omega.
See, I didn't know all that.
Chris Bay.
I like Chris Bay. He's good.
Yeah. Obviously. Switchblade. Juice Robinson.
Switchblade.
I'm not gonna let you talk about the character that is the Switchblade, Jay White. I love the character that he is. I love his energy. I love the way that he performs, but his character is what draws me into him more than anything.
I mean, I've seen a couple of matches, a couple of promos.
Yeah, the promos do it. The promos and the ability to work, I would say, alone, but also with Juice Robinson. I love their character dynamic together.
You talking about the Bang Bang Bros?
The Bang Bang Bros with the guns to the sky. Yes, I love that.
I'm surprised they have not been served a cease and desist for that name.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing the envelope there.
They're playing. They teetering with fire.
It's all good. So, okay, so moving forward again, who is your favorite trios tag?
So I like the Lucha Bros.
Okay.
I like the Bastard. I do. But they're not my favorite trios tag. Although when they won the trios titles, granted, I wasn't happy with how they won them.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like they should have been the inaugural trios champions to begin with anyway.
Talk to me.
Like, I understand what you want to do with Omega and the Bucks and putting the belts on them. That's cool. That's fine. That's dandy. I felt like it was time and place to do that. At that time, the Lucha Bros was the hottest trio team running in AEW for a hot minute.
Yeah, Death Triangle. Yes.
Yeah. So, but it's not my favorite though. I kind of like the House of Black.
House of Black, yes.
I kind of like the House
That's
of Black.
the answer.
Maybe
the only
the prior
acceptable answer.
WWE guy in me. I don't know.
No, man.
But
no. That's the only reason why I say that's the only acceptable answer. For me, they give us the in-ring ability. They give us the aesthetic. They give us the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have a personal favorite of mine, Julia Hart.
I was I didn't know if you was gonna bring it up.
Yes.
I was about to say I think the number one reason why I love the House of Black is because of the character development of Julia Hart.
Yes.
Like I absolutely love it.
Yeah. She does it.
Because without hopping too far ahead.
Okay.
Prior to that character change with Julia Hart, I hate when I look at two different promotions and I see each promotion have their own version of the same character.
Right.
Like back in, remember, like, I don't know if you was watching back then, but back when Goldberg was hot in WCW, and then WWE, WWF at the time, they had the spoof character who was Gilbert. You remember that?
Yes. I wasn't watching then, but as I got older, I went back and I seen, yeah.
Another example would be storylines. I hate when promotions have similar storylines. Prime example, when Daniel Bryan won the championship at WrestleMania, what was that, 36?
Don't give me the line.
It may have been 30. I don't know. It's been ever since the pandemic, bro. I done lost track of time.
That's fine.
When he won the championship, because he was the underdog, he didn't look the part, he didn't fit the part according to corporate and all the other stuff, right? So he had the whole underdog thing and he won the championship. Right. If you would have turned on TNA Impact, you know who they had going through a similar storyline at the same time? Eric Young. And I just hate when promotions do that. I feel like it's a complete lack of willing to try to be creative. Yeah. So prior to Julia Hart linking up with the House of Black, they had it with the Varsity Blondes, the whole cheerleader gimmick, right? So you know who else was doing a cheerleader gimmick? Thea Hale.
Okay.
Both of them young. Both of them were doing a similar gimmick.
Yeah. So
when they switched her over to the House of Black, and I've seen how she is fully matriculated,
and she's actually started wrestling on
and she's
Elevation.
Good.
Yes. She's
good. She's young, but she is a good in-ring wrestler. Granted, she still has to grow and everything else. All of them do.
Absolutely.
But she can give you a good match bell to bell.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's House of Black.
House of Black. That's right. So,
not to mention.
Okay.
Maybe this is a whole nother show in and of itself, another topic, whatever. The other thing I like about Julia Hart is she gives me something that I always wonder what it would be like in wrestling. She reminds me of a female-esque or a female version of The Undertaker. Like, I would love to see a character with that kind of gimmick, like a female character with that gimmick, just go full. I would love to see it.
Well, and even how they do her, because if you look at some of the promo packages, when I would say, what was it, last year, when it was the quote unquote like the resurrection of the House of Black, when she fully,
oh man, awesome work.
Yeah. Oh, the promo packages and the vignettes, everything was
awesome work,
masterful. Even with how. Even if the whole House of Black wasn't there, they still had her as like the manager or the main stable.
Yeah, they had her with the ability to actually keep the faction relevant and in the forefront of people's minds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So now we have to ask a very serious question. Did Tony Khan lie about AEW?
Sir, clarify that question for the people, sir, before I get into my diatribe.
So, as we all know, Mr. Tony Khan,
what did you say?
He said that he wouldn't want to make a main stable for other
for who?
For other wrestling promotions.
What promotions?
For WWE. so that they would not just essentially come over and dominate AEW.
Oh, that's what he said.
He did.
Cap. Cap.
Okay.
Look at AEW's roster.
Okay.
The vast majority of their roster came from where? WWE.
WWE.
All right. Now, it's probably some guys that's going to watch and listen to this. Well, they came from in the man. Shut up. Ain't nobody talking about none of that.
Yeah,
the last major promotion that these guys came from was
Right.
the WWE. You got Cesaro, John Moxley. You got CM Punk, Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Ruby Soho. I could keep going. Okay. However, he came out and said that he wasn't going to do that, but in reality, that's what he did. And not only did he do that, he has also, in my opinion, done a piss poor job too. Let's look at Miro, for example.
I knew this was gonna come up.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Let's look at Miro. Right?
Talk about him.
Miro, he got Rusev, right? Gets released from WWE, which they dropped the ball with the Rusev Day. They should have went ahead and pushed him to the moon when he was over that good.
Right.
So they messed up.
Yeah.
So he goes to AEW. All right, cool deal. Right? He comes on there, he cuts this whole big promo about take the brass ring and shove it up that whole joint right there. So, and then in the process, you messed around, got your wife put through tables like 500 times in a row from Nia Jax.
It was bad.
It was
bad.
horrible.
Yeah.
And for what? After they took off with the TNT Championship off him, what have they done?
He disappeared.
And he has a great gimmick. I love the Redeemer.
Yeah. Because if you remember,
God's favorite champion, it's gold.
yeah, he even remember what was it? Was it last year? It was like what was it? Early last year when he was feuding with the House of Black, and we got nothing from that. Like nothing. I don't necessarily mean that we got nothing from it, but nothing fruitful.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be like a little thing where it was a possibility that he was going to join.
He was either going to join, but at the same time, what that should have done was that should have pushed him in the front because of the popularity that Aleister Black has garnered since leaving WWE and being in AEW. So
I forgot about them on my list of former WWE. Him, Buddy Murphy.
yeah. So hold on. So run it down for us. Who? Well, not necessarily who, but let's back up. So could we make the statement that WWE put the E in AEW?
Absolutely. I would dare say that AEW would not still be surviving right now if it wasn't from the influx of talent that they got from WWE. And for Tony Khan to say when he first started this promotion that he was not going to make AEW a haven for former WWE guys, he lied. Not only that, we also got evidence of him killing pushes for former WWE guys. Let's talk about everyone's favorite wrestler for a minute. CM Punk. CM Chump, if you ask me.
Trash.
Who was the hottest person that was on the verge of winning the major championship in AEW when CM Punk debuted? Hangman Page.
Yeah, Hangman.
Who got screwed when CM Punk came to the AEW? Hangman Page.
Yeah.
And what has CM Punk accomplished since he's been there? Nothing. Who is he put over? What? Nobody.
If anything, the only thing he's realistically done as a, I'd say, quote unquote, main eventer. The only thing he's done, he's crippled AEW. He has caused drama in the actual locker room.
Sir, call my man Aaron Rodgers, except with no contributions to add to the world of professional wrestling anymore.
Yeah. So, and now that you actually brought him up, it was something, I don't know if you remember. You remember when Mick Foley was in the ring with CM Punk on WWE, and CM Punk was talking about all his days of champions. And Mick Foley was like, hey, it don't matter. I was a 3-time champion for, I think he said like 20 some odd days. He said, it doesn't matter. The numbers don't matter. It's about the memories that you create. It's about the moments that you create for the fans, you know. And CM Punk realistically he has not contributed moments that make us feel good about him. I feel like the homegrown Chicago thing, I'm tired of that.
Yeah. And this is another story. This is another topic in and of itself. Are wrestlers of the past and legends messing up professional wrestling for wrestlers of the present and tomorrow? In the case of CM Punk, to answer that question briefly, my answer is absolutely yes. Because what are you doing?
Yeah, I definitely have to
like,
agree
there's
with that one.
nobody in AEW that you can tell me that CM Punk has put over. There is nobody that you can tell me that has had a feud with CM Punk and came out hotter than they were before they went into it. That probably couldn't have done that with anybody else.
Right.
I think well, first off, Eddie Kingston, that whole situation pissed me off because he definitely lost the match to CM Punk that he should have won.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
we watched the actual match.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston, that's one of my wrestlers too. I feel
Okay.
like they're doing a piss poor job on him any which way it go.
All
But
right.
MJF got the ability to get himself hot with anybody.
Yeah.
Like, he is probably AEW's best homegrown talent that they have. The position that he's in that company right now, he's earned, is, as a fan and as far as I say, I feel like he's earned it. Uh-oh. Did I strike a nerve?
As much of an MJF hater that I am, I can't disagree with you. Simply because, yes, as a homegrown talent, as one of the original 4 pillars, he's the only one that has honestly stepped up to the plate, and I think really has opened himself up to be a complete wrestling entertainer. You know?
Yep.
So,
not to mention that the guy does something that I wish more wrestlers would do. Like, he practices the art of kayfabe, like, religiously. Like, this man has flipped off little kids.
yeah.
I love it.
This man threw water on a kid in the airport. I love it. He the same thing like he said, he wants to become our scumbag, and he
has done that.
He's doing a very good job of it. So who would you say, going back to what we were saying, did WWE put the E in All Elite? Who is WWE's All Elite? Now, we've already said CM Punk.
John Moxley, did we say him?
Yeah, John Moxley, number 1.
Yeah, first. Okay.
John Moxley.
Let's keep it a buck. Let's go back to the book of Genesis.
Okay.
Of AEW. All right. AEW chapter 1 verse 1. In the beginning was Chris Jericho.
Yeah. So I guess
he is the and granted,
OG.
he even said that the primary reason he was there was to help the company get established, whatever.
Yeah. So Chris Jericho, we've already said John Moxley, we've already said Aleister Black.
Do you want to count Cody Rhodes in that list or no?
I feel
because Cody wasn't really.
You have to.
Cody wasn't the mainstay that he was now, obviously.
Sir.
But prior to him when he left WWE, that's what I'm talking about. Because he left under the Stardust gimmick and everything else. We talked about that on the last show.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? He didn't have the overwhelming popularity and fan support that he has now. That's what I mean.
No, but he's still okay.
But he was still a prior WWE guy.
He was still a prior WWE guy who went independent and popped up in AEW.
Not only that, he actually helped founded AEW.
Yeah. So, okay. Cody.
So Cody and Jericho were probably the first two that made All Elite Wrestling, All Elite.
Tony Storm.
In the women's division?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Paige as Saraya.
Oh my God. What has she done?
Nothing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's right.
I feel like AEW's women's division was already stacked though.
It was
prior to Tony Storm. Now she helped enhance it.
Yes.
Now that's one thing I would definitely give them that props for. That their women's division is probably a little bit better than WWE's women's division. Because WWE seems to be in this conundrum where they want to book half the division as actual wrestlers and the other half like divas.
Wow. Yeah.
Look at your Carmelas. Look at your Chelsea Greens.
Yeah.
Prior to this new resurgence that we've seen in Selena Vega, she was in that category too.
Yeah. You remember Queen, what was it?
Queen Selena?
Queen Zelina.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you got your serious people that they put real serious booking efforts behind, like Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Bianca Belair, Asuka.
Wow. We got to talk about that another time.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good topic, though. So what could AEW do to become a dominant wrestling promotion, in your opinion?
Fire CM Punk. Is this thing on me? Might check 1, 2. Fire CM Punk.
Okay, so that...
Because... why? And you know, I get it. From a business standpoint, for some godforsaken reason, CM Punk is still a draw. Okay? I guess the whole topic of CM Punk and wrestling fans is probably going to be like the age-old debate about pizza. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
It don't.
Sir, there's nothing wrong with that.
Sir, unless you're trying to get a super kick mid-show, don't say stuff like that.
I'm going to tell you something. If you super kick me, it's going to be the last super kick you ever do in your life. But I guess that's the thing with CM Punk. You got some people that love him, some people that hate him, whatever. Okay. But in my humble opinion, will you unless you're just completely drinking the CM Punk straight edge Kool-Aid, you cannot deny this man is a problem inside locker rooms.
True.
How many promotions has he been a part of, and the same unanimous reports keep coming out? He causes issues in locker rooms.
Yeah.
Like right now, Jungle Jack Perry had beef with him.
Yeah.
Who else?
He sent two wrestlers home
from Collision.
Yeah.
Like, how does he have that much authority and leeway?
Yeah.
Ace Steel, the dude that bit Kenny Omega,
yeah,
he got rehired when CM Punk came back.
So maybe AEW is trying to make CM Punk their Triple H, and it's gonna fail miserably.
Yeah, because see, here's the thing with Triple H, that was a work. Now, granted, he did really admit, and he did do some backstage politicking to put himself in prime positions.
Right.
Okay. That's fine. I guarantee you, most wrestlers do that if they have an opportunity to. If you don't, exactly. And if you don't, then you're not smart.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, it's still a business. You still have to rub elbows with the right people to put you in the right positions. Not necessarily as a brown nose or a kiss butt, but you still have to. You have to play the game. And
no pun intended. What? You said play the game. It's time to play the game.
It's all about the game, how you play it. But yeah, you have to do that. So what else, aside from CM Punk, what else can they do to make them a dominant factor? Because they're on TV.
Mm-hmm. They've expanded their TV hours with Collision.
Yeah. So we got
we got 5 hours of AEW on a weekly basis now.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is, I definitely think that they need to pause. I haven't heard anything else about it, about them trying to do any more TV time. They should pause their growth, like right now. They should not try to inquire any more TV time. Don't expand Rampage. Don't expand Dynamite. Keep your 5 hours. Okay, stay within those confines.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is you need to get a streaming deal. You have to get with one of these platforms and partner up, like before WWE sold to Peacock or partner with Peacock. You got to get a streaming deal. The reason being, AEW, surprisingly, despite the economy win, they still do very good pay-per-view buy rates. Every time I see Dave Meltzer ratings report or Wade Keller, whoever, they still do pretty good buy rates.
Yeah, I mean, they're making money.
Yeah,
they're definitely making money, and I have to give them the kudos. They're actually starting to sell out shows.
Yeah, and I'm not saying with the pay-per-view thing, so people can understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I'm shocked that they are making buy rates because of the quality of their product. I'm just shocked that the average American is able to spend $50-$60
every other month
on the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
because bro, we hurting from an economic standpoint.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things that really helped sustain WWE is when they came out with the network. Like that helped.
Yeah, and
because prior pay-per-views for WWE averaged $40 per pay-per-view, except for WrestleMania, which was $60.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember when they upped that, which was probably about maybe 15 years ago, I want to say, if I'm not wrong, when they upped it about $60.
Mm-hmm.
So AEW come out the gate, they joints at 60. Like, what is it? All In coming up on Sunday, next Sunday.
Yeah,
that's $60.
Yeah,
that's probably $60. I'm gonna have to find somewhere to invest in order to watch it so we can talk about it.
Yeah, that's true.
So they definitely need to do that.
Okay. So CM Punk, the streaming. One thing that I think that they could do to really become is hire better writers. Because the storylines that we have, I feel like you're always gonna be playing second fiddle as it comes to WWE storytelling.
Sir, you just brought something to my remembrance.
What's that?
It's not even about so much as the writers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say storylines and some of the match production in general.
Okay.
One of my big issues I have with AEW is too much freaking blood.
Mm.
And this is coming from somebody who grew up in the Attitude Era. Okay?
Yeah.
Every freaking week, you got John Moxley bleeding like a stuck pig almost to pull a line from JR.
Yeah. You can guarantee at least one blood spot.
It's exactly like it's too common. Like, one, I'm surprised that we still even doing it that much with everything that's been going around with COVID and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But two, it's like, man, when a wrestler used to bleed, it used to mean something. It used to, like, unless it was just a freak accident, like we've seen in a couple Money in the Bank matches when, like, Johnny Mercury daggone tore his whole face up.
Right.
You know, we had freak accidents that happen. But when that wrestler used to, or when Cass was going up against Brock Lesnar when he first came back after UFC, yeah, when he broke John Cena's nose for real.
Yep. Sorry, John.
But
right.
It used to mean something. Now I just feel like it's just an overdone smoke and mirrors trick in AEW.
To make it seem like it's more...
To make it seem like it's more brutal, more gruesome than what it really is.
Right. Okay.
And that's the other thing they can stop doing. Stop trying to be the PG version of ECW. Just stop.
Okay.
Like the brutality, the hardcore matches, that's cool, that's fine. But because CM Punk and Jack Perry got into it about a segment where Jack wanted to use real glass.
Yeah.
Now, as much as I don't like CM Punk, I can actually agree with his stance on that. Maybe not the best way that he went about doing it, but I agree with his stance. Why would you do that? Do you know how many arteries are in your body that can mess around and get nicked by a piece of glass, and now you got a real medical emergency on your hands?
Yeah.
Like, just stop.
Okay. So let's shift. Right. So now we're gonna have one of our mainstay segments. Overcooked or undercooked?
Mm-hmm. What's in the oven?
NXT.
They in the oven?
Yes, sir. Is NXT overcooked or undercooked?
Meaning what?
Because so is it time for NXT to stand and deliver? Because if you look at them, we're having more frequent that we've got the called up talent going down to NXT, winning championships, parading championships around, when in the past, to get called up, you had to drop the title. Talking and examples, Solo Sikoa had to drop the title to go to the main roster.
You know another one? Let's talk about the recent draft, for example. Because I knew you was about to go, but I just thought about this. And this was extremely confusing. We had the draft.
Yes.
We had Indy Hartwell, who was the women's champion.
Yep.
Get called up.
Yeah.
You had Ala Dunn, Alba Fire,
Yep.
who were the tag team champions.
Yes.
Get called up.
Yeah.
Now, Indy, granted, she was hurt. She still dropped the title.
Fair.
The NXT tag team champions, they take the titles with them.
You took them with them, and then you did away with them,
and then you unified them with the main roster tag team championships, women's tag team championships, and we haven't even seen the women's tag team champions on NXT, which was the whole reason why they even created their own women's tag team titles. Because initially, when those tag team titles were created for the women's division, they were set to be defended against Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Sasha and Bayley never ever went down to NXT, or I think they may have went once or twice. Yeah. Other than that, no team that won those championships afterwards that I can remember went down to NXT.
So I guess we have to ask the question, is NXT a third brand, or are they still just developmental?
At this rate, I think we should really just go ahead and consider them a third brand.
I have to disagree. I don't want them to be a third brand. The reason why I don't want them to be a third brand is because, yes, they do have some star power, but I feel like they're not strong enough to stand on their own and give us the match quality. Don't look like that. They're not strong enough to stand alone and give us the match quality with our main roster. Because don't do that. I understand what you're saying. Yes, you have some people that can give you main roster quality. I see why
Skip used to cut off Shannon.
I know that they. It's not your turn yet.
Is it my turn?
It's not your turn yet.
Is it my turn?
I'll let you know when it's your turn. Yes, they can put on great matches. But the problem that I feel like you run into is that some of those guys are still a bit too green to do that consistently. Because if you take a look at it, majority of those premium live events for NXT, you'll have a couple bangers. But can you do that every week in, week out? Because as you know, sometimes NXT will lay an egg on Tuesday night and you'll be like, what was that? So I feel like if we keep them as developmental, we continue to do what NXT was made for. Essentially, every big brand, every big entity, they have a developmental league. If you look at NBA, they have the G League. If you look at NFL, they have college.
Okay.
They have other professional football leagues as well, like the AFL, the CFL. If you look at baseball, even baseball has single A, triple A, and double A. That was out of order. Nonetheless,
I'm not a baseball fan, so I don't know none of those anyway.
Okay, so what they have is, depending on your ability and skill, is what tier they put you at. Whether they put you at single A, double A, or triple A, then you get called up to the majors.
Okay.
So I feel like you have to have some type of system and pool that you can pull from to make them better, as well as while you're making them better and they're growing on the people. You as an NXT fan back in the day, you would say, hey, you gotta watch NXT. You gotta watch NXT because you're missing the growth of these characters. So when they come to the main roster, you don't know who they are. Or when they come to the main roster and they don't get put into the spotlight immediately, or they have a bunch of matches that are mediocre, you'll say, no, man, you got to go back and watch this. You got to go back and watch this. So I feel like we have to keep them in, not necessarily keep them in the box, but keep them in their own separate developmental league. So that way they grow, they shine together. And then what that also does is it gives them the ability to storytell. Because if somebody has a feud in NXT, and when they both make it to the main roster, the ability to go back and talk about that history, because that's what WWE likes to do. They do love going back and telling a good story.
Storytelling.
Jesus Christ. Shout out to Triple H. But yeah, I think it should be developmental. Your thoughts?
Okay, so let you said all that. You made some points that I'm going to agree with, some I'm not going to agree with. So I'm going to open up with a question before I get into my answer, right? Is Ring of Honor AEW's developmental brand? Or is Ring of Honor its own brand owned by AEW?
That's different.
Oh, my God.
That's different.
No, it's not.
Is it my turn?
No, it's not your turn.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, Here's why. Okay, NXT. Yes, I did used to tell you that you had to watch it to understand the backstory and all the other good stuff. Not to mention, one of the best matches I've ever seen in NXT was probably definitely Shinsuke versus Sami Zayn. If you have not watched Shinsuke versus Sami Zayn in NXT, do yourself a favor. Just go watch it. Now, that's what I used to say, and I will still stand by that. Okay, I stand by it. I guarantee it. I put my name on it. It then switched.
Okay.
It switched when I began to see, you said Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
That was when they first started the NXT Premium Live events.
Yes.
Stand and Delivers. Them boys would go on Saturday nights before main shows like Royal Rumble, before WrestleMania, before SummerSlam, before Survivor Series. That was when they would have their pay-per-views. And they would go out there and they would tear the house down. Now, overall, under the guidance of Triple H, I absolutely feel that NXT, the independent guidance of Triple H, I feel that they should be their own third brand. The reason why you're saying what you're saying now about NXT is because after Vince took it away from him and watered it down with NXT 2.0, and he decided to put that edict in place that we're not going to hire a lot of older, quote-unquote, talent from the independent scenes. We want fresh young guys that know experience.
Yeah.
That's when NXT got messed up. But when NXT was bringing in those guys from the independents that had experience or from brands like TNA or whatever, they was coming out with bangers.
So
storyline was great.
So black and gold more so.
Yes, the mindset and everything of the black and gold era should have made NXT a third brand. And this is what really confused me. It's because you treat NXT as a developmental brand, but then you wanted to put a developmental brand or developmental show against a show that actually had its main show. And that was Dynamite on the Wednesday Night Wars.
Yeah.
And then you get mad when NXT underperforms in the ratings. Look what they were up against. They were against something that was smack brand new that wrestling fans hadn't had in over 20-something years. Like, you had a bunch of guys, and at that time, it was half and half. You have half-season guys, and you still had half the guys that was coming in that were still learning the system and everything else. And they were going against, at the time, what was arguably hot. And my problem with AEW in this emphasis was they had too many main guys for them to be that sloppy as they were on TV when they first started.
Right.
So that's a whole little thing in and of itself. But if we were to ever go back to the full black and gold way of life, then yes, make NXT its own third brand. Because like you said, you got guys that are getting called up with the championships. You got nonsensical stuff. If NXT is a developmental brand, then why is Dominic Mysterio walking around on the main roster with an NXT championship?
That's stupid.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
So you might as well make it a third brand. One of the hottest Survivor Series in recent memory was when everybody got stuck in Saudi and we had the NXT versus main roster feud.
Yeah.
That's what I thought we was getting ready to do. I thought we were going to segue and make them an official third brand. I would love to see NXT championships defended on main roster pay-per-views. I would love to see main roster championships defended on NXT pay-per-views. We already seen it with Seth Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Braun Breaker.
Which was masterful. It gave us a lot of elements. Okay, so if we're not gonna have NXT as the development, we're gonna make it a third brand, then are you saying that we should do away with the draft completely and essentially have one roster, but you can go and appear on any show?
I just think we should just do away with the draft completely because
logistically we can't do that though.
I mean, look, first off, we could, okay, because I think a lot of wrestling fans have forgotten the original days of WWE when SmackDown and Raw first started, and you had wrestlers traveling from city to city. Now, I get it. That's grueling on the body. Monday, you on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Tuesday, you got a live event in the Midwest. Wednesday, you got a live event back in the East. And then Thursday, you got to be way on the other side of the country for a show that's taxing on the body.
It is.
So I understand you.
And it also takes away from the family dynamic.
I know, and I get that. Give me a second. Let me go where I'm going.
Oh, let him cook. Let him cook.
I understand that. This is why having separate rosters is good. I just think the whole gimmick of the draft should just be done away with. Because we don't even respect it. I don't even know what show LA Knight is on anymore.
Yeah.
Like every week I turn my TV on and I see him. The Miz is supposed to be on Raw. Why is he on SmackDown doing commentary?
Okay. All right, fine.
The North American Championship is supposed to be on Tuesday nights. Why am I seeing it on Monday nights? Rhea Ripley's supposed to be wrestling on Mondays. Why is she about to have a mixed tag team match on a Tuesday?
Which was dumb as well. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So going with the lifestyle of a professional wrestler, WWE wrestling entertainer, whatever you want to call them. The next topic that we were going to talk about is the legacy versus legacy. With wrestlers, and honestly, primarily women, you have them that have to make a decision. Am I going to start a family and create a legacy, have children, with their partners, or are they going to forsake that to build up their brand and be, the dominant professional wrestler that they want to do for their career? So they're having to choose family versus career.
So,
your thoughts?
Trying to figure out the best way to tackle this without getting canceled. Because, even when, people pull up a clip from 15 years ago and look what he said. We got to cancel him. So, when we talk about this subject, there are 3 immediate women that come to my mind.
Okay.
Right?
Who you got?
You got Becky, you got Charlotte, and you have Lacey Evans, who is now, Macy Estrada?
It's something. I'd have to look it up. I don't know right off.
So, here's why these 3 women come to my mind when we talk about this topic. You have Becky Lynch, who was at the pinnacle of her career, left, went to go have a baby.
Yeah.
Got married during the pandemic, beautiful family, came back, and is still in the spot that she was when she left, and is holding it down. You have Lacey Evans. Nope, let me skip. Let me go to Charlotte first.
Okay.
You have Charlotte Flair, who has never left. Injuries aside, surgery aside, because we're not going to sit here and act like Charlotte hasn't undergone a couple of procedures.
Right.
Medical reasons aside, she's never left. At least not for the purposes of having and starting or creating a family.
Right.
Now, rumors and stuff is speculating and spreading around online that potentially her and Andrade are broken up, divorced. They've unfollowed each other on social media.
Wow.
Like, Charlotte has taken, pictures of her wedding ring and stuff off her Instagram, and it's not looking good. According to the rumors and according to what the individuals are displaying. If this is true, if this were to happen, this will apparently be Charlotte's 3rd divorce. I didn't even know she had 2 previous marriages.
I didn't either.
I thought this was her very first time getting married. Maybe I just don't follow the wrestlers that close in their personal lives, but I don't know. So, this is merely speculation. Hypothetical speculation. If the rumors are true, if this is Charlotte's 3rd divorce, as a man, I could say that it's a great potential likelihood that the cause of Charlotte's divorces are probably because she is refusing to have kids. Now, whether that is coming from a place where she medically can't, I don't know. Or if it's coming from a place of, hey, I'm not having a child because this is going to distract me from my career. In 2023, that is a very common thing that women are doing. A lot of women are postponing having a kid. A lot of women are postponing marriage until they become established in their careers.
Yeah.
Then on the backside, there are a portion of women that regret that because once they get themselves accomplished in their careers, now they're racing against the clock.
Right.
They're in their mid to late 30s or early 40s, and their biological clocks are ticking in order to have a safe pregnancy.
Yeah.
And or find a suitable spouse. And then you have someone like Lacey Evans, who was doing her thing. Coming up to 2021, she signed with NXT in 2016. Got called up to the main roster, I want to say 2018, 19. Yeah, she was doing her thing. And right when she was on the verge, it looked like potentially getting ready to have a war with the title, because that's when she was dating Ric Flair and the whole Charlotte Flair thing, right? What happened? She got pregnant.
Yeah.
She left to go have a child. She comes back, and for some godforsaken reason, despite how talented she is, despite how good her original gimmick as a Southern Belle was, they decided to repackage her.
Yeah.
They give her all of these Marine American gimmicks, and as a prior Marine, that motivated me a little bit.
Yeah.
Until I started seeing the unrealistic stuff in the promo packages.
Yeah.
Like, we went through the obstacle course in Paris Island. Okay? It's no way you go through the obstacle course and you come out looking flawless.
Yeah. You come out clean.
You did something wrong.
Ain't no way. Go do it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have her do all of this. You play on her actual Marine Corps service and all of this, and then you get her on the main you get her back on our screens.
Yeah.
To hit from a segment from last show, they playing on our screens.
Yeah.
And for what? You have her lose matches.
Yep. Make her heel, make her face, make her heel.
Make her don't know.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, anytime we need somebody to go take a loss, send Lacey.
Yeah.
And one could say that it was something about her leaving in the midst of her getting hot momentum that caused it to happen.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. It's tough. Like, I guess it all boils down to, it boils down to your willingness. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want both, Becky Lynch is an example that both can happen.
You can, but Becky's not I don't mean to say that she's not realistic, but it's hard to find a significant other that is into the same things that you're into in any field.
Yeah.
Because realistically, if you're doing that, you're saying, hey, look, I need you to understand that I'm going to be gone. I need you to understand that we're not going to have a lot of time together. And even if you are doing, your profession, there's not a lot of time. The only reason why that works for them is because, Becky got Seth, who is a hot name, a great talent, a great performer. Mm-hmm. Everybody's not that lucky. If you look at it, case in point, Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. That doesn't happen. We really have right now 2 instances where we're seeing somebody that wrestle in the same promotion, and they're having, I would say, a successful relationship from what we see from the outside in. Because I follow them both on Instagram. I do, because I love them. I love the dynamic. I love the affection that they show each other. I love how they support each other. Ups, downs, bumps, and bruises.
That was already prior military, especially Marine Corps. I'm going to root for you regardless.
Absolutely. Hey, Semper Fi.
Hey.
But for people that, that are trying to do that, I do feel like it's unfair that,
that they have to choose?
Yeah.
But that also goes to my second point of what I was about to say. Because you're right. It is hard to do that, especially in an industry like professional wrestling. Especially in an industry like professional wrestling where we've seen so many horror stories of relationships going awry.
Yeah. I
think Edge, Matt Harley, and Lita was one of the most infamous situations that we've seen about that.
Beyond toxic for no reason.
And then on another very unfortunate side, you had the situation with what was her name? Nancy? Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
it was Chris Benoit, that whole situation. Because if people don't know, then definitely go look at it. Chris Benoit and her ended up coming together after they were booked on screen with each other, and they were booked on the screen by her now ex-husband, because he was the booker.
Wow.
I think Kevin Sullivan? May have been, I don't know. Don't quote me on the name. But yeah, he was the booker for WCW. He booked, a lot of people say that he booked his own divorce.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So I get it. But the other factor that comes into play in this situation is the powers that be.
Yeah.
Because obviously, creative for WWE that was able to get Becky right back where she left off at.
Mm-hmm.
Why weren't we able to do the same thing for Lacey Evans? And now this is even more alarming with Lacey Evans, because we got Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
She's currently expecting.
Yeah.
Carmella, Corey Graves, they're expecting. Congratulations to both of them.
Yeah.
Especially Carmella and Corey Graves. Their backstory is one I can personally relate to.
Absolutely, me as well.
So, are they going to be able to come back and pick up where they left off at?
I hope so. I really do.
Because at the end of the day, as the fan, if you get it back on my screen, I love it. Every time I saw Lacey, as a fan, I was happy to see her on screen. I wasn't happy about the packaging, but I was happy to see her on screen.
Yeah, because we connect to them beyond just their gimmick, just their character.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the wrestlers, they have, social media that they actually run, and they invite you into their life. So you get so close to them that, seeing them doing what they love, it draws you into them.
Absolutely.
So that is my hope. I hope that WWE, AEW, everybody, every wrestling promotion from now on, when it comes to a family decision like that, take into account, who is all going to be affected by this decision.
And not only that, WWE as a company has to take into account how they would be affected by this decision.
Yeah.
Because Jade Cargill could have very well been in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
She turned them down. She turned them down because she said that the life in WWE was not conducive to her and the life that she wanted as a family, because she's married and she has a child.
Yes.
I don't know how old her daughter is. Don't get me the line, but I do know she has a daughter. And at the time of her original tryout, her daughter was young. Yeah. I think somewhere maybe 2 years old, 3 years old, maybe, if might be wrong.
I think she's like 8 or 9 now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we've seen people that have said that. Yeah. Who was it? Kenny Omega. They just said it. Yeah. Now that's coming from the male side of the house. Yeah. They re-signed because the schedule was easier for them and their family. There is a very big emphasis on family right now. And for major companies, they have to start taking into account for that. And if you have superstars that feel like they're going to be punished for trying to actually do what they are, the only reason they are there is to live out their dream and take care of their family.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to be punished for doing the latter of the two, why waste my time even coming?
Exactly. Good stuff.
Yeah. All right. That was everything we had to talk about today?
That's it, man.
All right. Well, if you stuck around for this entire show, thank you. Hope you liked what you heard or saw if you're watching this on Spotify or the clips on YouTube. So for the show, whatever you're listening to on right now, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. If you're an audio listener for the podcast, do me a favor, do us a favor, go ahead, drop us a review, just because it don't help with algorithms and nothing like that, but it lets us know what you're interested in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, share this with a friend, whatever platform you're listening on, whether it's Spotify, YouTube, whatever. So that's going to do it for us. You got anything you want to tell the people?
Thank you. Thank you for listening to us. We really appreciate it. And we're very thankful to be able to do this and to give a different perspective to fellow wrestling fans just like us. So we thank you.
Yeah, you know what? Let me get this promo real quick. Yeah, I gotta cut a promo real quick because it just hit me. Because you said something and it hit me.
Okay.
So the reason why we do what we do, the reason why we are here, the reason why I do what I do on Top Rope Commentary, the reason why we talk about the things that we talk about is because there are so many different wrestling content creators. And I'm not taking pop shots in none of them. But my only problem is in the wrestling content creating community is so much of it is wash, rinse, and repeat. There's no real creativity and diversity. Now, granted, you have a few channels on YouTube that I know of that actually make in-depth biographies and things like that, and that's great. I love it. But so many other channels do the exact same thing. They get the news off Twitter, make a video about it. They sprinkle a little bit of analysis on it, and that's it. They're not offering anything to the fans. Then you have some that every now and then they'll throw together like a top 10 list of that, top 10 list of this. What's the actual conversation, the discussion, the think tank about what we call professional wrestling? There is none. So this is why we are here. Because we love this. We love professional wrestling. We want to make sure that fans can engage, have thoughtful conversations, and really challenge the way that they look at things. So this is why we do what we do. So that's why we say if you like what you heard, check us out. Subscribe, like, follow, tell a friend, neighbor, tell your pastor, whoever. All right. That's going to do it for us today. Until next time, we out.